Hey everyone, if you're new here, my name is Andrew Hess. If you're not new here, we're going to be answering some of your questions that you've left in the comments. Today, we're going to do a pop-up on whether a form that's been edited, if the data has changed. So in order to do that, we're going to have one collection of our current data source data versus the other collection, which is our current form data. And we're going to compare the two. Now there's multiple different ways to do this. Today, we're going to try and keep it simple. I'm sure there's a way to do it in Power Automate. You could probably pull the JSON of each one of those and do a comparison. But today, let's stay in the Power Apps world. Let's do a pop-up on if our form has been edited or not. Last week, we created a video on how to double-check, make a pop-up on unsaved changes. And then I had a user, Smart Haas or Kevin from Germany. I was very pleased to read the title of the video. I thought it would solve a problem I'm having. So we did a pop-up, but he wants it when you edit a form. So when I change a value in a formula, don't save it and leave the screen. That's exactly when I want to be reminded via pop-up. So this is on an edit form. Last time we did it on a new form. So I was thinking this is a good topic. So let's take a look here. Right now on my add accessories, if I type in here, I will get the pop-up and it'll say, hey, you have unsaved changes. You can stay or leave. I can backspace, hit back, and then the pop-up does not appear. Right now, we need a way to edit a accessory. So let's just make something simple. Add or edit. Edit accessory. It's going to take us in as a new form. And then over here, when we select one, on select, then our form, edit form, form accessory. So now when we select one, it then becomes edit form. Let's watch how I'm doing that right here. Now, there's so many different ways to do this. We could add a pencil tool in the gallery. There's lots of things we can do. So right now I have my screen. We have our gallery, add or edit. It comes in as a new form, right? So it comes in as a new form, but what we can do is we can select one and then it becomes edit form. And then this is the next problem, is now our form is populated with some values in here. And of course we can change something. So we can change this to external speakers. Let's see if we have some space in there. We hit save. And then when we come back to it, we then see that it says external speakers, right? So we made a change. But what I want to happen is when we hit the back button, it doesn't pop up this time. We need to actually pull the data. Now there's different ways to do this. We could do this on change, right? So every time there's a change, it could grab that data. So if someone had a cursor in here and they made a change, then the pop-up comes up. But my first goal is I need to pull the data that's in our data source. So no matter what your data source is, if it's Excel, Dataverse, SharePoint, SQL, you need to pull the data from your data source. And for this time, my data source is my accessories list. So these are my accessories. The key to this is to be very organized. We need to see our data very clearly. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm just going to add a button right now. Just anywhere on the screen, I want a button. I don't want to put it on my back button. There's other functionality that'll drag me back. I want to create a collection. And the collection I want to create is a ClearCollect. Well, ClearCollect. Right, I want to ClearCollect. And what do I want to ClearCollect? I want to ClearCollect a new collection and current data. I want to grab my current data. So literally right now, I could make this simple for me. I could collect, if I can spell right, all the data in my SharePoint list. All right, so I can grab all the data in my SharePoint list. If we go take a look at my collection, we see I have 10 rows. I have all the data. Well, that's not what I want, right? We want to make this organized. So let's do the next step. Okay, well, I want to grab just these ones. I just want to grab these filtered ones. Okay, instead of accessories here for our data source, we put in the filter accessories, radio ID. We grab just those 4. Okay, so we're going to grab just these 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see we have 4 rows. Current of 4 rows. Okay, we filtered it down a little bit. But I only want to grab a few columns. I only want to grab 3 columns: title, model number, and color. The way that I like to do this is a function called ShowColumns. So I'm just going to kind of format this so I can read it. I'm going to do ShowColumns. Only show me the columns that I want to see on the filtered data. And it's going to go right here, I believe. We're going to do a comma. Oh, and only show me the title field. And we probably need 1 more parentheses in here. Okay, so now take a look at the formula. ClearCollect, my new collection, current data, ShowColumns, only the title, filtered. Let's press our button again. This time, we should have 4 rows and only the title field. Looking a little better. Looking a little better. Now show me, I also want to see model number. Oop. I want to press enter. Model number, no color tag, and oh, the IntelliSense is getting to me. There we go. And color. All right, so now let's press the button. For our 4 rows, we get the color, the model number, the title, and color is a value. So you see that it's a value of red. So if we go back, we can see the value is black here, the value is black, and the value is red. All just fine, but we have a nice collection. Now, let's collect whatever we have here. Oh, no. Now, let's collect whatever we have selected. I want to see the ID of our accessories, just our ID. So we have 2 IDs. We have an ID of our related table, and we have a current ID. You can see that it's 1, 1 here, right? So radio ID is 1 and our accessory ID is 1. But if we go down 1, we can see that this is ID 4 and radio ID stays 1, ID 5 and ID 8. We don't want people to be able to change this though. All right, so I want to filter accessories and I want to grab ID when it's equal to this table. And what is this table name? Table 1. So down here in the corner, let's rename it to TBL selected accessory. So this table here now on the left is now equal to table selected accessory. On our button, when ID is equal to table selected accessory.id. So we're going to filter our accessories. We're going to grab the ID of the one that we have selected. So the one that we have selected is 1. Let's go down to external speakers. It's 8. And now when I press the button, it should collect only external speakers. And there it is. We have external speakers, model number 12. Maybe we should collect the ID too, just to kind of help us understand. Also grab ID. Let's press it again. So we should see an ID of 8. And let's go back and let's select a different one. Microphone, collect, show only the columns I want to see. An ID of 5, microphone, that model number, everything is looking good. Now, I also want to collect again, but this time, so let's format this so we can see it nice. All right, we see it nice there. Now let's collect again. ClearCollect. And this is going to have a different name. Collection accessory form, right? So we really need to be organized here. It's going to help us a lot. Accessory form, and this one we're going to collect. We don't need to show columns because we don't have a bunch of information here. We want to collect title when it's equal to whatever this is here, DataCard value 12.value. Let's just kind of end it right there so we can see everything's working good. I can format this. All right, so next we want to grab, what's next? Model number. Model number, which is DataCard value 13, I'm guessing. So we can check to see if it's color coded. So you can see green, maroon or pink or purple matches there. Okay, so model number. And next is color is DataCard value 14. Oh, I forgot my comma. Dot value. 14 dot selected dot value. Okay, so we grabbed those three. So now let's press the play button and check out our two collections. So on collections in our data, we can see we have current data, color, ID, model number, and then this one, color, model, title. So we can see that we're pulling in the same data. Maybe I'll pull in ID also just to kind of be perfect. We'll also pull in ID, which is DataCard value. I'm guessing 15 dot value, and it's not. So you see the color coding did not work. So let's make sure we grab this one, DataCard value 6. Value 6. All right, so now let's just make sure they're in the same order. I just want to make sure they're in the same order. So black, ID, model number, title. And right here, we're not grabbing the exact value. Maybe that's something we need to work on. ID, model number, title. Maybe on the second one, let's just grab dot selected. There we go. So now let's see if they match. We click the button and we check out our two collections. So on accessory form, we have value of black in there. And on current data, we have value of black in there. Our two tables are now matching. Now I want to compare the two. I want to compare this table, collection current data, to collection accessory form. Now that we have two collections that are equal to each other, they just have different names, let's keep this simple first. First, let's keep this simple, then we'll add some complexity to it if we want to. For this text field, what I want to do is I want to compare the two. And I'm just going to try and, show me a text. If what? If the first value, so every collection in Power Apps could have multiple values, but I don't want to, create all that. We know both of our collections are one row. So the first row, I want to grab my first collection, my collection current data, and I want to grab title, and let's say the first row of our second collection, accessory form, and I also want to grab the title, then write the word identical, else write not identical. On the button click. I can leave it like that. We have a button, so I erase one space, not identical. Identical. You see that? I like that. So we're recollecting each button and then we're repopulating. So if I change microphone, not identical. Identical. Now I don't want to do this on the onChange property of my Power App. I feel like it will bog down the Power App and it'll go very slow, right? I'm only doing on that button click, and that button click is going to be our back button at one point, but not yet. So now let's do the next column. In our first collection, current data, and we are going to do model number equals the first of collection accessory form, model number. And then we'll do our last field too. First collection current data dot color is equal to first collection accessory dot color. And we need a comma here. Oh, I messed this up. Those commas should be and that should be a comma. There we go. So we're just saying, or we can write the word and. We can also write the word and if we prefer that. Same thing, we're just saying, hey, check the first record and check the second and check the third, check for identical. So now if I change the color to red, click my button, not identical. Change it back to black, identical. This is great. This is great. Not identical. Identical. All right. I like the way that it's working. So for this video, without going into super complexity, I'm going to leave it just as that. This is pretty simple. You could probably do a sequence and loop through and do all these looping. You could probably go to Power Automate and run this in Power Automate and then do the comparison. I'm just going to leave it this simple. If you want more complex and we grab the JSON of this one and we grab the JSON of that and then we do the comparison in Power Automate, or if you want to sequence through and loop through, that's another video, okay? For this video, we're going to keep it simple. So we're now checking if something is identical or not. So now I'm going to take these two comparisons. I want them on my back button. Right? Because I don't want to do this on change. I don't want someone to have to click the button. On my back button, I'm going to collect both of them. And I'm going to say, if it is blank, that's fine. This is for a new form. If, and we're going to add a little complexity. I think I'm going to do one on new form and one on edit form. I think we can understand these collections here, right? We understand that this one is collects data in SharePoint, and our data source collects current data in Datasource. And this one collects current data in accessory form. So we love this organization. We want to be organized. This checks new form. Now we want to check an edit form and then do an if statement back and forth. So let's see. We need a way to say if we're in new form or edit form. So on my accessory button, I'm going to create a variable. And it's going to be a global variable. I don't feel like passing it. Set variable form mode to new. So I created a new variable here. Set form mode to new. So when I click in here and I look at my variable form mode, it sets it to new. When I click on a button, so let's say we go back again and we have one of these. When I click on a button on select of the table, I want to change my variable to edit. So now when I click on one, it becomes edit. So on my button here, if variable form mode equals new, then do this. If it does not equal new, then we're going to collect. Okay, all that's still looking good. So if it does not, so this one checks new form. If the comparison, so now after we do all this collecting, if the comparison does not happen and it's not good, instead of identical or not identical, we're going to navigate. Not identical, we're going to do our pop-up. If it's not new, then we also need to check if, and I need a parentheses here. This parentheses is off. There we go. So now let's check this out. If we're on new and we click back, it goes back. So let's try again. We're on new form. We click back. It goes back. We write something in here. We click back. It does a pop-up. We lose our data. And we click add edit. And then we try and edit. Our form turns to edit. We make a change. The pop-up appears. I delete it. I go back. It checked. It's correct. Somehow we got this to work. Very complex. That's why it's very important for you to be organized. So let's try again. We click on one, add accessory. We don't make a change. It's fine. Let's go back again. Let's click on one, add accessory. We click on one. We don't make a change. It's fine. We click on one. We edit. We make a change to black. We click back. The pop-up appears. That is exactly what we want. Now let's look at that equation again, now that I've formatted it. Let's take a look. I tried to add some comments in here. So right here, oops, let's try this again. So if checks if new form, that goes here. Then this checks if change on new form. So this block of code checks if there is a change, if everything is not blank, if not blank on new form, then we do the pop-up. If it's not blank, then we do the pop-up. Else we let people navigate. This checks edit form. This collects current data in Datasource. This collects, let's move this over. Let's indent this over. And that goes here. This collects current data in the form. And then finally, we check if data source and current data are equal. And that's what we do here. We say if the first row is equal to the first row of the second form, and the first row is equal to the next one, and the first row is equal to the next one, then we allow people to navigate. If it's not, we do our pop-up. So this is our entire equation to check this out. Very complex. I hope that you guys enjoy the video. It's pretty complex, not straightforward, but that is one way to do this. There are probably more ways to do this. If you want to share what you think is the best way, I'm totally fine with that. I don't mind anyone correcting me. Feel free to correct me. I'll make a new video and we'll share your idea. Or you make a video or a blog post, whatever you'd like. This is a community. I don't know everything. I'm glad we can work together. Happy New Year once again. It is January 5th for me. Thank you all, and I will see you next week. Thank you.